And we are live, I hope. Welcome everybody to the Q&A section after the AMA that we had with CryptoLand, and they're just popping in all the questions now into our channel. And the expectation is I'm going to try to answer as many of these as I can live. And so we'll just wait for these to roll in. There's several hundred of them, as it turns out. And let's see how this goes. Wow, it's quite a few. All right, so just continuing on with the Q&A section. There's been actually a couple of different questions around how we get to the coins. Again, the easiest way is through the website at espcoin.io, and from there, using MetaMask and some Ether in your wallet, you're able to purchase tokens directly off the site. We also are available on Uniswap. And so those who are familiar with Uniswap, we're on version 2 of Uniswap, where our liquidity pool is. And there you can swap between literally hundreds of different digital assets that exist in the Ethereum domain against the ESP token. So that's also another place. And right now there's a bit of a price advantage, or at least last time I checked, over the current web price. The web price is set at a static value against Ether. The floating price exists on the decentralized exchange. So, okay, just putting in here again the YouTube stream, and let's start going over some of these questions. But anybody that asks anything, feel free to ask it on the YouTube channel. I'm happy to answer questions from both forums. Again, there's maybe 10 or 15 questions that just came blasting across. Where do I get the token? Again, start at espcoin.io, or also you can land on Uniswap. So those are the two places. In both cases, to set up and get working with the token, you'll need the token contract address. And always get that directly off the website, so you know it's genuine and it's not copied, or somebody's hijacked the token address with their own. So always get the token contract right off of our website. Okay. Convert is asking, do you agree that the community, oh geez, that went by so fast. Oh, somebody erased that. Okay, let's go to Nishar. Is your platform suitable for crypto beginners, or does it appeal to professional users? Well, I think for both, actually. We're trying to make the coin accessible to everybody, because we're going into spaces like education and digital payments where users are not going to be crypto savvy. So our next major milestone is to getting on a large exchange to make that exchange from real money to, or fiat to cryptocurrency a little bit easier. We're going to be embedding apps, and really, in some cases, the token works in the behind the scenes, moving value about, making it transparent to the users. So from the standpoint of how the different ecosystems work, that's definitely targeted for the non-crypto savvy user. Today, accessing the token or making a purchase through MetaMask and getting Ether, connecting a wallet and a certain type of digital wallet to the site, and whether it's our site or through Uniswap, there's a little bit of crypto expertise that's involved there, and really also an understanding of how gas fees work on the Ethereum network, and how to figure out what the current gas price is as it changes from block to block, but really understanding when are the best times to buy, or when do you see it's affordable, because there's been huge ranges in terms of overall cost of performing these transactions. And so one of the things that we're doing to mitigate that, of course, and I've talked about it in the previous questions, was moving to a layer 2 solution. And a layer 2 solution allows us then to offload a lot of the processing to a side chain or an alternate chain, and then netting the difference onto the Ethereum blockchain when appropriate, therefore reducing or well, not completely removing, but drastically reducing the overall charge fees that Ethereum typically charges. So that's one thing that's very important for us, because transaction fees are really a barrier to adoption in both the education and digital payment spaces. Because generally speaking, transaction sizes are very small, and therefore if you have a high fee associated with that transaction, nobody wants to do it. Okay, Meloti Mao is asking us, do you have an audit credential, or are you working to audit your project to make it more secure and reliable? So certainly being audited is very important, and we've taken the steps and the expense to get a third-party audit of our token contract. What this does is it checks for vulnerabilities and makes sure that we have the appropriate security in place, such that nobody's going to be able to exploit something out of the contract, drain funds from either somebody's wallet or from the contract itself, or in some way makes the hold of tokens problematic or exposed. And we've done that. We've passed that audit, and it was a good thing to do, because they actually found on our initial submission 4 or 5 things that we needed to address. We've addressed every single concern and resolved them to that satisfaction. It makes our code tighter and better, as well as more secure. Also for the public and for the security of the public, we have posted our code onto GitHub, and it's directly accessible from a link on the website espcoin.io, where you can anybody can view how our token works and the code that's embedded there. It's a pretty simple application, which is actually good, because the simpler it is, the fewer points of issue may arise. So we're a lot more secure. Okay, hopefully I had that. I got some online questions now too. How safe is your platform? Has there been any audit so that it's safe from bugs and smart contract is fully audited? Okay, so yeah, the smart contract for the token is fully audited. And in our DeFi applications and any of the decentralized applications that will exist on the blockchain, we will also go and get those contracts audited. So this will be specific for the solar funding projects, the micro-lending DeFi app. So that will definitely go through an audit process, as well as when we have the decentralized version of our Talk to Expert platform. This is our educational content delivery platform, because we have to have on-chain governments to do things like managing things like the appropriateness of content. So we have to have approvers of content, and then other governance elements. This starts to make the contract, the smart contract, a little bit more complicated. So we want to make sure, again, that it goes through an audit process, such that we've at least addressed any of the vulnerabilities that can be found by a third-party audit firm, because we're really looking at protecting the public from any exploits that might exist because of code that we've written. This will go through a lot of peer review too, as well as extensive testing before we deploy any of this decentralized apps, because once we get them out there, these things are live, they're immutable, the code is immutable, and so we want to make 100% sure, or 99.99% sure, that we've addressed all issues as best we can. So audits are very important. Existing, we have already one in place, and the audit can actually be viewed. You can get the link off our website, espcoin.io, and traverse that link, and you can actually see the report and the things that we had to resolve, and their concurrence that the contract's safe. Okay. Thrawn Ray is asking, do you have any burning system? What are your future plans to promote ESP Coin and more? Yeah, so part of the contract, part of the token contract includes a 1% transaction tax. So every time you transfer tokens, 1% is charged. Of that 1%, Half of it is immediately burned, and this is verifiable directly on the blockchain through etherscan.io, as well as the other half is randomly distributed to an existing token holder. None of the proceeds of the 1% transaction tax makes it back to the project. It only is either burned or goes to a token holder. I think that adds some dynamism to, can't even speak today, to how our ecosystem works. We're rewarding people that are holders of the token, as well as we also want to be increasing the scarcity of the coin over time by burning coins to increase the overall value. So that's built into the contract. We also have a burn strategy that we've publicly articulated everywhere, that once a month we'll be taking 90% of the project's profit in a buyback and burn program, meaning that we're just not going to just buy or take coins that have been uncirculated and burn them. We'll actually actively go out and purchase off the open market that amount of tokens, and those amount of tokens will be burned. Again, for transparency, all that information will be displayed in a register on our website, so it can be independently verified against etherscan.io that the purchases were happening and the burns were actually affected, and again, reducing the overall supply of tokens. It is our plan to move the initial 500 billion tokens that were minted to be burned down 90% to 50 billion. Once we hit 50 billion, we will no longer be burning tokens. Okay? Wow, okay, so things are coming a little faster here now. Safety is crucial for any platform where many projects get hacked, bugs, and earlier periods. So my question is, what security measures are adopted by your project? Okay, this is a very, very important topic because we have to take security very, very, it's very important for us. It's paramount, actually. And security doesn't happen as a single thing. So like a single audit from a security company is just not going to meet the requirements. Security is done in layers. So we have both physical access restrictions to certain things around our code base, but certainly to the unused circulation of coins. Actually, only one person at any one time has access to the coin vault, basically. We do have a succession plan, so meaning if something happens to that one person, credentials fall to another designate, and they are geographically separated by half a planet. So unless we get hit by an asteroid, it's relatively safe. Again, we practice a lot of safe practices with security. So of course, all the interactions with the website is through SSL connections, and we take the digital security very seriously. But there's also a number of things that we do by just policy within the organization in terms of access or how things are done, the testing methodology, as well as excuse me, just restricting access to only certain people in certain functions and keeping them separate really makes the platform more secure. So, I mean, somebody could hack our website and be able to break into the website. There's nothing there. We don't actually maintain any data sets that are accessible. It actually has to go through private networks in order to access the real data and where coins are accessed, or it comes down to where the keys are. So there's multiple levels of security, and we use secure online providers to house some of this digital intellectual property, such that again it's secure. So we take it very seriously. It's something that's part of our credo and part of everything we do, built into all aspects of the company. All right. Mohammed is asking, are you planning to promote your project in countries, regions where English is not good? Do you have a better local community for them to better understand your project? Well, my English today hasn't been so great either. But that being said, certainly this is an absolute yes. Our first deployment targets are in Vietnam, in Vietnamese, with our educational platform and the student information management system, as well as Talk to Expert, which is the content delivery platform. So these will be localized for languages. We'll have local communities set up, discussions happening and moderated in those particular languages. We're a very international group to begin with. We have marketing people in Europe and Russia and Asia. And so there's a variety of different languages have been spoken. If you follow our social media, you'll see that we've had people in India translate or rebroadcast our white paper, set up their own community or add us as part of their overall link. We've seen videos in Russian and Hindi. We'll have an Arab community as well that we'll be setting up, or really partnering with somebody that is going to help us elevate our presence in those regions. Certainly the same thing in Vietnam. We have certain, call them influencers, or at least related people within the project that are broadcasting on Facebook and Telegram, and LinkedIn is the other big one. So absolutely yes. We're going to be working in a lot of developing countries, which most of them do not speak English, or English is certainly not the first language. And so we will continue to support and broaden out in those areas. I apologize myself, I'm limited to just English. And so most of the communication has been happening through me at this initial phase. Once we get past the getting onto an exchange, we'll be activating these different language communities as they start to become little micro ecosystems as part of our overall community. Okay, thanks. Where can I buy your tokens now? What are your current contracts, and how can I buy them, and what are the benefits? So, Fariza Fazi asked this. As I mentioned before, we have the token contract. The address is available off espcoin.io. Using MetaMask, you can make purchases directly off our website, and we limit to a total of no more than 5 billion tokens can be held by any single one person. This is an effort to protect the community, and again, another security aspect that we have built into our contract. We also have the token available via Uniswap. Again, it's Uniswap version 2. So you go to Uniswap, you still need the token contract address to initially set up the ESP token with MetaMask when you originally connect. Once that's set up and you go to version 2 liquidity, you're able to swap the ESP token against hundreds of different Ethereum-based digital assets. So for the more crypto savvy individual who knows how Uniswap works, it's a great vehicle to do this. So people are buying and selling the tokens today. We also expect to be on a centralized exchange in the very near future. I'm in deep negotiations and trying to get that resolved as quick as possible. It is the next major component on our milestone, on our roadmap, and so that has really full focus for us. Okay. Okay, I have some doubt to trust you. Can you share your Telegram, Twitter, website, and social link where we are able to find you next? Thank you. Or Fariza is asking the same or a different question, but absolutely. Go to and you should really get all the contract related information directly from the website. Don't get it copied in Telegram or some posting that you see somewhere. Get it from the original source. That way you know it's authentic. espcoin.io is the website. All our media links are there for Telegram, Reddit, Medium, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and here in this YouTube channel. As well, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see my ugly picture, along with other group members. My LinkedIn credentials are there. I think my Twitter's there. Maybe some of the other ones are there. So feel free to reach out to me directly. You can, on the ESP Coin Twitter, Telegram channel, feel free to directly DM me. I must say I'm inundated with a lot of proposal requests and a lot of things going on there, so I may not as quickly get back to you, but I will make the effort, and I do as much as I can there. And you also have the option at the bottom of the website to send us a direct message via a messaging system where you can pop it in, and then it shows up in a database for us, and then we have somebody that will address those mails and eventually respond. Again, we're trying to streamline some of these processes to get more information out. One of the best places to see all the information, all the media stuff that's happening is on Medium, because most of the announcements are posted there as well. Of course, at the bottom of the front page of the website, we also have links to some of the more current events happening. Okay. Wow, we're getting a lot of questions here. Cryptocurrencies are not so popular in Southeast Asia market in some countries like Vietnam, Philippines, and Indonesia. Do you have any plan to reach these potential crypto countries? Well, as I said, Vietnam's our first target. And actually, funny enough, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. According to a lot of cryptocurrency surveys, one of the highest levels of understanding and adoption of cryptocurrency is Vietnam. I think they're number 3 in the world, which is incredible. And I think Vietnam is a really good case example where you have a very large population that's fairly savvy with, everything happens there with online banking through your mobile phones. So having a digital wallet and being able to interact with the token is certainly not a big stretch for them. The things that we have to work on in Vietnam to make the token more accessible is local exchanges, easier paths to purchase and acquire the token. As we launch our digital platforms, especially the Student Information Management System, we will be certain to have local capability in terms of providing the token so people can utilize it. Because when we get into the school system, this must be easy to acquire and use the token. It becomes a big barrier if it's a complicated task. So we'll be partner with local exchanges in Vietnam to provide this functionality for us. When we bring in our digital payments platform on the point of sale side in Vietnam, we'll be also adding an exchange function. So any merchant that has the point of sale devices that we've distributed will also be able to act as a fiat to currency exchange. That exact model is replicatable in the Philippines. Again, another good target for us, in other parts of Asia, whether it's Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, all being significant targets for us rolling into 2022, 2023. And this also includes India, which would be at the back half of that schedule, just because of the sheer magnitude of size. India represents a more significant issue because of the number of languages that we need to support there. It's dozens of languages, so that's a bigger effort, and we need to get some scale under us and have things rolled out before we get to India. But certainly the other Asian countries are a real target for us. Could you tell, Mohammed is asking, sir, could you tell me about NFT is really a hot topic in the cryptocurrency market? Then how is your valuable project planning to develop NFT, and how is your valuable project developing? Okay, so NFTs is not a target for us. We're a utility token, meaning that token is going to be used typically as a form of payment. We will be using NFTs for the technology of NFTs for how we securitize assets in the renewable energy space, meaning that a project comes to the platform and wants to get lending against, it has to put up some type of security to support the lending activity that they want to use. That will be done as an NFT or in an NFT style object, that it can't be divisible and it's unique. So we'll be utilizing NFTs. Now, are we going to get into an NFT platform where we're providing artwork or any of these other things that are out there? It's not on our roadmap currently. There are a lot of projects already out there, I think, that are really exciting and really interesting. That's probably a better project if you have an NFT focus than what ESP is about. ESP is really focused in on the business use cases of education, digital payments, and excuse me, and renewable energy. So those are the three kind of ecosystems that we're really working hard to work with. NFTs don't really fit in that space. Okay. Can anyone use your platform anywhere in the world, or is it only for professional users? So certainly our platform is going to be available to all. Certainly on our Talk to Expert platform, where we're providing educational content, anybody can pay for it. It's a master class type of application. And from there, we have the ability where somebody wants to connect with the content provider to have a discussion. That's part of the Talk to Expert thing that we do. And it really kind of mimics that university environment where a lecturer will get up, give a lecture, and then make themselves available to the crowd afterwards for any clarification or counseling that may be involved. We feel that this platform is going to be really handy for those types of use cases. Also for the use cases of, consultants can go out there and put together an educational piece around what they consult about, then have the opportunity to discuss directly with people who consume that content, and it actually becomes a very good warm sales opportunity that's developed. Content providers get paid for the content they put on the platform. Consumers obviously pay for the use of that or for viewing that content. Advertisers, here's the interesting thing that we're doing with the token, is advertisers will pay content consumers for viewing their content. So it is possible for content consumers to be actually earning off the platform just by watching advertisements, and that would offset the cost of any of the content that they really want to purchase and view. So that's really how that platform works, and it really presents a very interesting ecosystem, especially for educators, consultants, people who give tutorials or mentoring. Again, it's a very good platform that it's going to be the first one that comes out actually from the group here that we're really excited about. So look forward to that. It's coming soon. On is asking, could you tell us more about your team and their backgrounds? Many projects launch with inexperienced team members and fail to get any real traction later on. Good question. So each individual within the organization has a very specific focus. I myself has got 30 years of embedded computing experience for very complex computing and software solutions in the mining, transportation, and some military markets, and oil and gas being our biggest one, of course, in those days. And my ability to put very complex ecosystems together is what gives us the ability to deploy the educational platform and the digital payments piece, or how we are going to do the DeFi application on for the renewable energy. And so I'm the one that actually wrote the token contract for the coin as itself. So my background is, again, 30 years of technology. Now, that being said, in each one of the ecosystems, I need a fair amount of support. So for instance, Hervoya Soman, part of our group, and there's a video that we did an interview a couple of weeks ago that's on the channel here. You can hear him talk about his area of specialty, which is digital payments. And he's the person that gets us connected at the highest government levels in terms of ministers, vice presidents, presidents, prime ministers at various countries, where we're talking about how we bring cryptocurrency to a nation, How do we remain compliant? Taxation strategies, VAT management, fiscalization. So we have expertise out of Hervoy to do that for us, and it's absolutely mandatory that we have a strong group, and certainly he's one of them. Trang on the other side in Vietnam is our link. Both her expertise is both on an HR recruitment side for multinational companies, but also is our conduit to all the educational components within Vietnam. Not only do we get the expertise of having her immense network in the education space, but also the fact that she speaks the language locally. So we have to rely on these people to open those doors and help us deploy the platforms. And so they have a very key responsibility for the success of the platforms in those local regions. Ralph Sickinger with our group, he's on the financial side of things, public markets in terms of, because very much, cryptocurrency can be looked a little bit like the stock market, but certainly dealing with investors, dealing with investment strategies, and certainly when we get to the staking side of the solar payments or solar projects on the renewable energy piece is really key for us. How do we manage that? How do we create a micro lending platform that rewards properly the investor community that's micro lending into the platform, and these types of things. And ultimately, whether the corporation looks down the road, further down the road as something that we may go public with, he's there to advise us on those types of things. Johan Besner, again, has been involved in the solar industry for at least a dozen years. I've known him for quite some time, and he brings to us the expertise on the residential solar industry, how that works, how an installation works. And so we know all the little pitfalls and all the things that we have to do in order to get involved with that. We also know how to integrate with government programs to take advantage of any subsidies to combine our offerings with what they're doing. So he has that experience, and that advice coming back to us is absolutely key in making that portion work. And of course, Daniel is on our marketing side, so he specializes in social media marketing, part of our awareness campaigns, but he also has links back to different regions of the world in terms of Brazil and the education market through his network and affiliation. And so that's opened up a lot of doors for us as well for bringing the educational platform to Brazil, which is a huge market for us. So again, very important. So this group of people, and there are others again behind the scenes, and most of them more right now on the technical side that are doing the development, which we've been doing for several years, 3 years now on the educational platform, is really key. We'll be adding sales and marketing, feet on the street. So in Vietnam, we will have an outbound sales force. So there's actual salespeople going school to school, private school, that are both winning them over, getting the platform in place, but also at the same time, become part of the onboarding team. How to make sure that we're invested in the success of each school and each deployment that we do. The Talk to Expert is purely an online platform, again, so we have specific marketing strategies on how to get that up and running and out to the general population. And then on the digital payment side, we're doing that through strategic alliances with partners beginning in East Africa, coming to Vietnam, and then other parts of the world moving forward. So I think, first of all, we're not stuck on any one specific business vertical, so we're a little diverse there, so there's some safety and diversity. So if one particular element of the business goes a little soft, we still have the backstop of the others that are still providing value back into the coin base. Because we have diverse people all over the world in terms of technology capability, networks, we actually cover a really wide range of people and capacity. So I think, You know, we have a really strong team. We're always opening to adding more people to the team. And in fact, we have a lot of open positions in Vietnam right now, just because that's where that first effort is being focused on. I really believe in our success, and hopefully everybody sees that. And again, you can tell this by just asking us as many questions as you like. I'm here and happy to answer as much as I can. Okay. So Siam Mahumed, burning tokens is the best way to keep the price of the token under control and reduce the quantity. So what are your plans for burning tokens? So as I mentioned before, we do have inbuilt the contract itself some burning functionality. Again, we have a 1% transfer tax. Half of that transfer is split between burning, so immediately burn, and that's verifiable right on the blockchain, and then the other half is distributed among a random token holder. None of the 1% tax is given back to the project, so it's it's part of it's a benefit that we're giving to all the token holders. We also have a buyback and burn strategy. 90% of the generated profit of the project will be used on a monthly basis to purchase back tokens and immediately burn, thus reducing the overall token circulation. We started off with 500 billion tokens, and our policy states in the white paper, you'll see it in the white paper, that we'll burn all the way down to 50 billion tokens, and then after that we will cease the burning activity. And that's how we're going to manage the burn side. Okay, I'm just going through a whole bunch of lists here. A lot of people ask about burning, actually. I'm surprised at this. But hopefully, if I haven't addressed the issue on burning, certainly please please let me know, and I'll happy to answer more of that. Do you have an audit certificate, or are you working to audit your valuable project? How do you make it more secure and reliable? Yes, we have an audit done on the token contract. It's directly available off our website at espcoin.io, right on the front page, along with the ability to view the code that's been audited. So that report's there. We'll continue to do audits as more functionality and more platforms come out, more smart contracts get on the blockchain. It's an insanely expensive process. So we'll be going through a lot of extensive testing beforehand before we go through an audit process for any of the advanced features that we bring online. But certainly that's part of the ongoing process, and we'll continue to audit. And where it makes sense, we'll be open sourcing certain components of the project. There's some things on the commercial aspect that are secret sauce, so to speak, and therefore will remain private. For the most part, though, the difference there is that any of the tokens, token contracts, smart contracts that go out on a blockchain, we'll make those publicly available to be viewed. Okay. I'm just going to pop back here to the Telegram list here and see. There's just unbelievable number of questions. So Aria is asking, ESP Coin currently relies on the Ethereum platform, but as we know, the ERC20 blockchain currently has many scalability issues. Then what is the main reason behind choosing Ethereum and not other blockchains? So it's a good question. First of all, we chose Ethereum for the stability, the size, and the smart contract nature of the blockchain. And having the ERC20 standard makes going through an audit process a lot safer. We're more secure in getting established and moving forward. That being said, we're super sensitive to the cost of gas fees that are charged on Ethereum, and they are actually real showstoppers in both the education and the digital payment sectors. And so we are developing layer 2 solutions, so side chains or alternatives to drive down the overall cost of transactions. We also are not going to be stuck, or I don't want to say stuck, but on just the single Ethereum blockchain. We will be having cross-chain solutions, so we're looking at Cardano, Binance Smart Chain, Tezos are all three candidates right now. Cardano is really interesting because of the nature of the cost per transaction, as well as the speed of what that network works. It's ideal for digital payments. BSC Smart Chain also has very similar characteristics. It's very low cost to transfer in that chain. A little bit more concern there because it's wed directly to an exchange provider. So there are some business and security aspects that we need to understand, but it's certainly a very viable alternative. And then the last thing, of course, is potentially we will come out with our own native coin in 2022 that addresses both the scalability issue as well as some on-governance capabilities that we want to have in a content delivery network. So we would build in governance that is uniquely targeted at our use cases that we plan on deploying, both in the current portfolio and as well as part of a 5-year rollout where we expect to be in 5 years. So definitely scalability is a huge issue, and we expect to be supporting multiple chains. In every case, we will provide a gateway back to Ethereum and maybe other chains as needed on a friction-free one-to-one ratio. So we'll try to maintain the value across the entire ecosystem, so people can actually move from one element of the ecosystem to another transparently without going through any huge change in value with the token. Can't get away from some of the internal transaction fees when doing that, but we'll keep it as low cost as possible through these gateways. And again, it's not a profit center for the project itself. It's there to help the project thrive in other environments. That's the most important thing, is maintain the utility of the token. All right. So somebody's asking, can you list 3 killer features of your project that makes it ahead of competitors? What is your competitive advantage your platform has that you feel most confident about? Can you list 1 to 3 killer features of your project that make it ahead? Okay, sorry, that's, I guess, repeated. Well, I think first and foremost, we're backed by real business cases that we're building out, that we're in control of. So we're not just putting out a token hoping that it'll raise in value. It's promoted on hype and tweets and so on and so forth that have no underlying value. We're building a foundational business to support the value of the token. I think that by itself hits 1, 2, and 3 for you, but we'll give you a couple of more. Number 2, our tokenomics are not structured in a way that are restrictive for using the token as utility token. We have only a minimal 1% transfer tax, and half of that transfer tax is redistributed among token holders. So as you're holding the token, expect that you're going to receive one of these drops or multiple of these drops over time as transactions happen. So you get the benefit of that as we're burning the other 1%. There's a lot of token and projects out there that have, this crazy 10% transfer tax, which, really prohibits the movement of the token. It's really the rationale that they put there is so people will hold on to the token and the token will maintain its value. Well, my whole view on tokens is you got to be able to use them in order for them to bring you real value. We're a utility token, so utility is to go out and purchase something that's going to give you value that you're really looking at, and you're using it to transfer from value from A to B. So we've made it very inexpensive to move tokens around. We don't have a crazy transfer tax. And that's our view here, is that we're always trying to support the the user base. And then the third is, of course, the policies that we have in place in terms of our buyback and burn program. We limit 5 billion tokens per address from the ICO, so no one person can exert too much control over the pricing of the token. Only 12.5% of the entire token offering is through a seed program. The rest of the tokens are available only through the ICO or through operations at normal price neutral activity. So we're always there looking, doing our best to protect the public, right? Now, I've been, I don't know how many times now, even just in the last 3 days, the number of investors that want to buy, 20% of the token base for, a fairly attractive sum of money, would be a lot easier for us to get bootstrapped and going. But this is not good and healthy for the public. And so we, by policy, have chosen not to do that, and we're sticking to our policy. Governance is very important for us, how we manage the company and all aspects of it, and this is one of those ones. So we're not going to take the path of least resistance. We're in here for the long-term, long haul. I think that, our value strategy is not explosive growth, but more consistent growth indefinitely over the life of the project. We're constantly pumping, I should not use the word pumping, but putting value back into the Coinbase on a monthly basis. And I think this is, these are the killer features of what the project is really doing. Okay. A lot of people asking in if we're suitable for crypto beginners or does it only appeal to professional users? Certainly, we're for everybody. The platforms that we're deploying are for the general public, people who don't know anything about crypto. So we have to do a little bit of education, but we're going to also make it as transparent and easy as possible to adopt and use the token through digital wallets in our applications. Currently today, we're building to that utopian standpoint, but today, it's a little bit more for the crypto aware, meaning that if you want to go buy directly off our website or off of Uniswap, some knowledge of how cryptocurrency works in terms of acquiring Ether, how do you do that, transferring Ether from A to B, what are gas fees and how that's managed, how do you get a token in a MetaMask, how do you get a token in a Uniswap. We have some educational videos to show some of these steps, and we'll be adding more in the near future. But this is for people that are a little bit more crypto savvy. But certainly there's nothing there too difficult for a beginner to get behind. And certainly we have a lot of beginners that are super interested in the platform because of the educational and digital payment side of things, that they just want to get involved right away. And very quickly, in just a few minutes of research, they figure it out and are able to do it. So it's not that hard or complicated. So I think that we're really available for everybody. Okay. Riman is asking, sir, how many partnerships do I have? And we've officially announced one partnership with Circle Blue, and this is for our digital payment platform being married up with their point of sale network in East Africa. So countries like South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda are where we'll be expect to be deploying cryptocurrency on their network and therefore utilizing the ESP token. We have a second one that I hope to announce in just a few days, again in Africa for digital payments. We have partnerships with government officials in UAE that gets us involved at the very highest level, at the ministry level of Minister of Education. And then we have, again, in Vietnam, we have very key specific relationships for various private schools to get us adopted there. Some that we'll make public once the platforms are up and running, as of course we don't want to jump the gun and expose certain critical things about our relationships to the competition. So I think everybody can understand that. I also have similar relationships at the highest level of government in India. I spent 26 weeks in India talking to ministers and public service organizations across the country. So I'm also well entrenched there for when we are ready to move into India, really probably in the 2023 timeframe, because it's such a big country, so many languages to support, infrastructure concerns that, you know, how we deploy in such a country with 1.3 billion people, 330 million students is no small undertaking. So we're going to get some scale before we get to India. And so that's on our roadmap for 2023. But certainly partnerships, and we have, again, one last partnership in the United States for deployment of solar projects. So we're looking at bringing our lending decentralized finance application that will help them get scale. They have more projects than they can handle in terms of getting these to market. So we'll be a facilitator to help getting that to scale while producing revenue back to the platform. So again, yeah, so we've got lots of partnerships. We will have more. We're always very interested in engaging in new partnerships to move forward. Of course, you know, all the awareness campaigns, marketing, all that stuff. Of course, we have partnerships with companies to help us get there, and we'll continue to improve that partnership base. Certainly, we can't do it alone, and we really look to have people come in and bring best practices with them in these partnerships. So that just only makes us stronger, and the ecosystem just that much stronger all the way through. Okay, thank you. Okay. Somebody's asking about the pre-sale and where it will start. Can you share a pre-sale link if possible? Okay, so currently we're in the ICO phase, which can be purchased directly off the website, espcoin.io, very simply. You can also, using the token contract address that you get off of the website, you can go to Uniswap, and under version 2 of Uniswap, get the token there. For those that are interested, we also have some remaining allocation from the seed and pre and the early adopter phase. Roughly, I think we're now somewhat under 10 billion coins left of that phase, where any significant investor that wants to invest, say, anything over $10,000 US, you can directly contact me, and then we can make arrangements. But we do have an incentive program for larger investments for that unused portion of the allocation. Again, we have a hard cap limit on what that is. Again, we're guided by the governance that we've publicly announced through the white paper on the website, and we will be sticking rigidly to that, again, to protect the general public from having, you know, being at a disadvantage to too many seed investors. But certainly we can make something available for significant investment. Any significant investment, just so you know, one of the key differences is there that any coins that they receive will be restricted for a period of time. This is one of the things that you have to do in order to enjoy some type of discount over current pricing. Okay, good. Let's go on here. I'll probably we're probably getting close down to the end here, but I'll go through a couple of more questions off of Telegram. I'm just going to scroll to the top of a crazy list here. So Tiger, just real quickly, do you have any Telegram channel or Twitter for this project? From where can we learn something? Well, ESP Coin has both a Twitter account, Telegram account. We have a news announcement account on Telegram, Medium, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm probably forgetting one. Of course, the YouTube channel here. All these are accessible directly off the project website. espcoin.io will get you all that information, all the links that you need to all our social media accounts. So please go to the website and check it out. Okay. Yeah, so many people are asking about English language and being an impediment for them because they're in a different region of the world. Certainly, we'll be starting more activities in different languages because really our target is the developing nations of the world, and predominantly most of those are non-English speaking, and so we're very adept in working in a non-English environment. Our marketing will also move into that space as well. But we also have a number of things that have happened in quite a few different languages already, and we'll continue to do that over time. All right. Lucy's asking, while you build your project, do you take into account community feedback and demands? Community feedback is absolutely mandatory for us. It endorses what we're doing. It gives us new perspectives on maybe some directions or changes that we need to make. Certainly, we've already made some adjustments based on community feedback. Initially, we weren't planning on going on Uniswap. We wanted to get onto a central exchange first. But after a lot of urging from the community, we decided to implement Uniswap as the first really tradable platform where you can buy and sell ESP tokens. And that was basically directly at the urging of the community. So we'll continue to do these types of things. We need the feedback. When you tell us something isn't right, we'll address it. If there's an issue, and especially when we start getting out the digital platforms, we're highly reliant on melding the different platforms to the user feedback just to make them better. So we're in a constant state of continual improvement, and that's just a concept that we embed into all the business units and how we operate. So it's a key thing for us. All right. Charlie Ham is asking, COVID-19 is a bad impact in every sector. So as a crypto project, how did it affect you? How you and your team have done the work in the pandemic? Where can I buy your tokens now? What are the current contracts? And okay. So the current contracts and all that stuff, I think we've already discussed. COVID is a serious issue for not only us as an organization, but really the world at large. It's impacting people socially, at work, the ability to do work, the method on how business transact has changed quite a bit. And we've had to, pivot to do many different things. In fact, part of moving to bringing on the cryptocurrency into the education and digital payments platform that we're working with was because of COVID. Because the way we're doing our financing and whatnot, the project was moving too slow, and not being able to meet people directly forced us to make some decisions on how we were going to solve certain business problems, both from an operational standpoint, but also from a financing standpoint. Really point to, here's a great solution in cryptocurrency. Our ability to bring a token to market solves just a whole flurry of problems. So in one way, COVID has helped us make the decision, but also it affects us on the development side of the different business units. Certainly, we're going to see some delay in some of the, certainly beyond the beta developments on the school information management system, just because we cannot put a lot of people in the room. Vietnam is going to be our launch candidate. And right now, Vietnam is just being ravaged by COVID. And so this is, sorry, we had a phone call come in. And that happening is a major impact to the overall project timeline. That being said, we still are able to work remotely. We have our Talk to Expert platform that's progressing very nicely in regards to what's happening with COVID. So those are the things that are happening. So we are feeling some pain and some delays, some regional issues that we'll overcome over some time. But the digital space, being able to work remotely, has allowed us still to do and accomplish many things, and there's still a lot to do. Okay, I think we're going to probably bring the stream to an end today. I really appreciate everybody's questions, and the questions themselves are very instructive in nature. They give us feedback. If this if this live stream was helpful, please give us a thumbs up, reinforcing what we're doing. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. We do more of these. We'll have some different content coming out pretty soon now, so you'll get the notification. But it also helps us gain awareness for the project, because we'll be coming up higher in the algorithm and whatnot. So certainly let us know here, as well as again, your support in actually picking up the token is really the ultimate show of support and endorsement of what we're doing and belief in the project. The more people we get on board, the more tokens holders that are out there, gets us onto exchange faster, drives the value of what's going on, and of course accelerates what we're doing on the development side, which just brings back returns even earlier for all the token holders. So we're working as a team. Get those tokens. Again, where you get them is espcoin.io. Get them off the website. Go to Uniswap using our token contract off the ESPcoin website, version 2 liquidity, and you can pick them up there. So again, thanks for everybody for the AMA with CryptoLand. It was a good one. Appreciate everybody coming here onto YouTube, asking all the questions, as well as all the questions posted in our community. It's been really helpful, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, all the best.